Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá, Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá. Bí a kò bá lè gbé lápapọ̀, ṣe bó yẹ ká lè dá dúró. Ká jáwọ́ nú àpọ̀n tí kò yọ, ká tètè gbómi lákàná. Iléyá o, Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá.
All that, but we now have external terrorism that is now going to be part of our security problem in Yoruba land. It is already part of it. The fact that Nigeria government is pretty much overwhelmed, I would say. They are overwhelmed in controlling and taming the incursion of Fulani terrorists and other terrorists into Nigeria. Rather than curtail them or stop them, prosecute them, and let them face, justice for the crime they are committing, the government of Nigeria is in bed with them, meaning that all the security agents in Nigeria, at least the high up there, they are controlled, their directors or their, those who control the security apparatchik in Nigeria are pretty much in bed with the terrorists killing Nigerians. They have been doing it for over 10 years. Yes, non-stop, 10 years. But the last 5 years has been the worst. And it's actually still going to get even worse than what it is now. And the reason why it's going to get worse is that we are not just going to be talking about northern Nigeria. So the reason why insecurity in Nigeria should be of concern to all of you who have been reading about it for a long time. So tonight, I am going to bring to life the real threat that this incursion poses to every one of you and those you love, even if you are far away from home. It is already happening in Yoruba land. Okay, all the news about kidnapping, killings, kidnappings for ransom, farm invasion, farm crop destruction and all of that you read about every now and then from northern part of Nigeria, especially the northeast. Back then, in the last 5 years, these homegrown terrorists and invading terrorists have pretty much, they've settled down so well in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, to the point that villagers in some states in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, are already paying taxes to these terrorists. We, the Yorubas, as part of those who share, share borders with the northern Nigeria, Oyo State, out of all states, seems to be the entrance that they are going to come into. They are already in. The governor of Oyo State came out and he said they have it. That's the governor, somebody who have access to right information about security. So he came out and he said there are some terrorists, he called them bandits, some Fulani terrorists who are now, coming through Oyo State into Nigeria. When they say coming to Oyo State and into Nigeria, that's the deceit there. They are not coming into Nigeria, they are coming into Yoruba land. And according to the governor, these are the guys that have no identity, no nothing. You can't really trace them, and they can move from one place to another the moment they gain access into Nigeria. So if Nigeria was to be a real country, a real republic, Yoruba land and those who are in charge of Yoruba land, administrative-wise, they will have the option of securing their borders, especially if they sense an imminent danger like this one, invasion of terrorists who are going to stay in our forest. So they can easily tell you that they are coming into Nigeria through Yoruba land. Nah, they are coming from Niger State, coming from Mali, according to the governor. So if Nigeria was to be a real country, right, the governor of Oyo State would have moved the state troopers to go and protect the borders. That, all the borders in Oyo State the borders that Yoruba land have with other West African countries, which now falls in the areas of Oyo people, today's Oyo State, Yoruba land. I'll tell you a story that, the story of these attacks that should get you concerned. So if Nigeria was to be a real country, and the Nigerian army, Nigerian military, and the Nigerian police, and all their security agents, since they have failed, a responsible region would move the state troopers. In our own case, in Yoruba land, we have Amotekun that is highly politicized, that we are even yet to understand their mode of operation. So the governor came and he said, they are coming into Yoruba land to commit crime. They are not coming to steal your food. They are not coming to steal your clothes or steal anything from you. They are coming to steal your lives. They come to kill, to destroy. And that is the news that you read about from your media anyway. Every day of the attacks in the northern Nigeria. So the governor can't help, although he promised to, but he can only make promises. He's a politician. He knows his limitation. Because even Amotekun in Yoruba land, they have their limitation too. Part of the limitations of Amotekun is that they can't prosecute you. Yeah, they can effect an arrest. They can engage you. I don't know if they even gave them the permission to carry firearms, but we now know that they do carry firearms now. So if they arrest any terrorist in Yoruba land, the moment the man speaks Fufude, speaks the language of the highest order, you have to hand him over to the to the police commissioner in your region. And the police commissioner will have to inform the police IG. And from there, they can move them to the camp of rehabilitation. That your people died, their properties destroyed, will come to nothing. And that's where my concern comes in. And your concern should too. What are they doing? They are coming into Yoruba land with no real agenda other than what we suspect to be their agenda. Expansionist agenda. If it is not expansionist agenda, if they are so interested in the forest of Yoruba land, I'm talking about all these invaders. Forget about your political, your political affiliation for now. Think as a human being. Think as a Yoruba man. If these guys were coming to Yoruba land for the good of Yoruba land, and they love our forest, they love the land, why can't they approach the same government and, buy the lands? There are people who are willing to sell their lands in Yoruba land. They are selling their lands. People are selling their inheritance right now. If you can pay the right cash, why should you go and camp in the forest? Carve a place and different places of camps for yourselves and begin to invade nearby villages. Villagers that are, that are more like a cut off from the rest of the populace. So that's the question you should ask yourself. This is what his name is General Kunle Togun, a retired general. Is the chairman of Amotekun Corps for Oyo State. So he said, on December 24, some herdsmen were seen at Okpara Forest Reserve in Okeogun area of Oyo State. The attention of the chairman of the Amotekun Corps was called to it, and Amotekun Corps swung into action. They were able to flush the herdsmen out of the forest reserve around 2 a.m. The Amotekun Corps, with the assistance of one prophet, Ojuawo, who is the head of the hunters in the state, with 40 hunters, drove out the herdsmen out of the forest reserve, and they were escorted out of Shaki West to the Orelope local government area of Oyo State. The herdsmen were handed over to the Amotekun Corps members at Orelope, who also led them out of their territory and handed them to their members at Olorunshogo in Igbeti area. The Amotekun Corps at Igbeti made sure they were escorted out of Oyo State boundary. So that was, that was the event of December 24. So where some people are working day and night. I know we have been seeing reports of, especially in Oyo State, we have been seeing reports of bad press reports about Amotekun attacking people in Oyo, in Ibadan, and other places. Yeah, we never expected Amotekun Corps members to be on the street. The impression they gave all of us, the impression they gave the Yorubas, was that Amotekun Corps members would be patrolling our forest, making sure that we will never have any uninvited guests, uninvited killers lurking around in our forest, right? Preying on our own vulnerable citizens, the sons and daughters, the mothers and fathers, children of Yoruba land, in Yoruba land. So that was the impression they gave us about Amotekun when they started it, and we gave our support. So we were not expecting Amotekun to be on the streets, chasing people and checking their phones on the streets. That's not why Amotekun was established. So it's good to know that Amotekun in Oyo State is led by a retired major general or a retired general, somebody who knows possibly the routines of guerrilla warfare, because that is what the Fulanis are unleashing on every community they have unleashed their siege on. Okay, so they use the guerrilla tactics. They shoot, it's crazy. So we believe that Amotekun in Oyo State, being led by a retired general of the Nigerian army, will help us to continue flushing them out. I don't understand the meaning of flushing them out or taking them out of the boundary of Oyo State. To whose boundary? I don't know. And what are the measures put in place to identify them? At least take their biometric details. Yes, they may not give you the right information, but take their thumbprint. What are the measures being put in place by Yoruba leaders, Yoruba political leaders? Let's start with Oyo State. I'm trying to bring up the story of Amotekun clash in Oyo before I will go to the story of where they are also in the same Oyo State. Because it's good to know that Amotekun, after 1 year, after recruitment, after training, and after all of that, we are forced, Oyo, especially in Oyo State, we are now sure that out of out of all the 20 local governments or so in Oyo State, all the local governments in Oyo State, they have Amotekun in each local government, and they seems to have leaders and commander who gives the command of operation. So we now know that, and in the after this, we also know now that they have also tasted they've had baptismal of fire. Okay, so we have seen them after a year. They have clashed with the invading enemies, which is the purpose and the reason for their establishment in the first place. So the news came out that on just this week or last week now, today's Sunday, last week, Amotekun clashed, I think it was about 2 days ago, Amotekun killed seven Fulani terrorists. Yeah, Amotekun killed 7 Fulani terrorists. That was the headline. And everybody was like, oh yeah, they clashed. They first said Amotekun clashed with Fulani terrorists, Fulani bandits, or Fulani herdsmen, right? So they changed the narrative a few hours later. They said, well, Amotekun killed 7 people died. Okay. And I knew that the news would not be received well in the northern, in the seat of power in Abuja. I knew that. So, one moment. Address the journal. Yep. So stated that there was a clash between Fulani and all that, right? So, in Oyo State, from the report, they have 10 local governments in Oyo State. Yeah, you need to know this too. As a Yoruba man, they have it on record that they have these Fulani terrorists who are now occupying at least 10 local government areas in Oyo State. That is Yoruba land. I don't know probably how to make that make sense to you. So the Oyo State government and the security guys in Oyo State, they are already battling with the invading Fulani terrorists, but they are also battling with bad media. Oyo State is a PDP state, okay? And for it to become the epicenter of Fulani terrorism in Yoruba land, could have his own sort of, the hand of Jacob, or the voice of Jacob, the hand of Esau, and all of that. But I'll break that down for you. So around 10 local government areas where they have identified the presence of these guys now have active Amotekun Corp groups monitoring things in there, which can escalate anytime. So clashes happened in Okeogun, at Okeogun area, where they said 7 people were killed. So the government is now coming out to say, hey, we didn't kill Fulani terrorists too. We only killed bandits. We did not clash with Fulani herdsmen. We only clashed with bandits. So let me pick up the story and read their position. So this is the position of the government, or position of Amotekun, spokesperson in Oyo State, when the news came out that Amotekun clashed with Fulani bandits, Fulani terrorists. And you know that if you want to offend Buhari, just do something to the Fulani. Whether the Fulani raid your village and kill your people, just do something to a Fulani, you will know whether Buhari is alive or dead. And in this regard, it's pretty much better for them in Oyo State to also be politically correct. So this is what the government had to say. Contrary to any report you might have come across, there was no clash whatsoever between Fulani herdsmen and Amotekun in Ibarapa or Okeogun axis of Oyo State. What happened was that we launched clearance operation in different locations around the thick forest of the 4 local governments that have suffered kidnappings and wanton killings in recent times. As a Yoruba man, as a Yoruba woman, as a Yoruba son and daughter, listen to this line again, because it is to tell you that the Amotekun in 4 local government, they have identified 4 local government areas, which are considered the hotspots, okay? And the reason why they are considered as hotspots is because there has been wanton kidnapping and killings in 4 local government areas of Oyo State, but it's not making the news, because if they have to say it the way it is, they will say these crimes are being committed by Fulani terrorists. But when they say that, they are going to offend the terrorists in Abuja. So listen to this again. What happened was that we launched clearance operations in different locations around the thick forest of the 4 local government areas that have suffered kidnapping and wanton killings in recent times. So if you have watched my videos where I've been shouting and screaming that people are dying in Yoruba land and people are killing the news, people are suffering in the hands of these terrorists, but they are killing the news, right? But here is the position of those who have now taken it up upon themselves to clear the forest. The statement continues. When our men entered the forest at Ayete, they were attacked and a gun battle ensued, which led to the death of 3 of the attackers. One of our men sustained injury. It was not a clash with the Fulani, because Fulanis were part of the planning of the operation, and we raided the forest together. We were in touch with Seriki, who is the leader of the Fulani in the area. Even after our men were withdrawn on Saturday afternoon, we got reports that some Fulanis were kidnapped in one location close to the area of operation. So they are working with us because they are also victims of the dastardly act of kidnapping in the area. Let me tell you what they are doing. And I know some of you understand what this simply means. It is like playing safe. Because when Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, came out and said, listen, guys, we have this. He didn't want to use the word Fulani terrorist. He said, we have some bandits crossing the borders with other West African countries into Oyo State. But he did not tell all the Yorubas that 4 local government areas in Oyo State have been under siege in recent times. God knows how long. But I can give you my word. It's been like that for years, even before Seyi Makinde became governor. They have been managing to suppress the news because they don't want to offend the jihadist head in Abuja. Because once you do that, they will consider you the enemy. That means you are hostile to Fulanis. Do you understand that now? So when the governor said and told Yorubas, told the world, we have some people invading us. So it's true. Some people are invading Yoruba land. But don't let us call it Yoruba. Let's say they are invading Nigeria. But they are killing the people in Oyo State, Yoruba people, silently. And they are burying the news. Now that they can't take it anymore, Seyi Makinde put together security guys, armed them, gave them the resources to go after these guys. But in the process, they still want to be politically correct. They will not call them Fulani terrorists. They call them bandits. Do you understand? Bandits. And in order to make it look like it actually make any sense, appealing to the minds of the northerners who received the news of bandits being killed in Yoruba land. Remember the story. Here is the line again. We were in touch with Seriki, who is the leader of blah, 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 said, when they got attacked, I want to read that part again. When our men entered the forest at Ayete, they were attacked and a gun battle ensued. They were attacked. They were looking for who? They were looking for bandits who have no name. Bandits who have no name. We know them. We know them. But we hope those who are given the opportunity to protect the Yoruba land, to protect the Yoruba people, to protect your people, we hope that you will not continue to play political correctness because you don't want to say it the way it is. And you know what? If you don't say it the way it is, there is no chance that you will be able to deal with the problem the way it should be dealt with. Do you understand that? Political correctness. They were attacked. That's the word. They attacked. They started shooting them. And they killed 3 of them. Atayete. But again, no, don't see it that way. We even have a Fulani with us. So who went on the operation with us, because there are Fulanis too who are suffering from kidnapping from other Fulanis. So if Fulani kidnap Fulani, what are they going to get? Hello? Seize their cow? Or what? That is the political correctness part, because they don't want Burataye the butcher to start picking up Amotekun corp members. They will first arrest their leaders, arrest everybody, then unleash the worst of the worst mayhem on Oyo State. Yes, you know how it is in the northern part. You know what it is in Benue. I remember in year 2000. When Boko Haram traveled all the way from Daura to Oyo to Ibadan, Agodi, to go and see Lamadeshino, who happened to be the governor of Oyo State. Boko Haram traveled from Daura to Agodi in Ibadan to go and ask the governor of Oyo State, why are your people killing my people? So don't be today, oh. Okay? But it just gets worse and worse and worse. Now, that Bukwari is now the president of Nigeria. So if you see the increase in the influx of Fulani terrorists in Yoruba land, they have always been waiting for a day like this. And for those who are encouraging them, enabling them, just wait for your turn. There are those who were indeed cashing on and then enjoying the violence that Boko Haram was unleashing on the people of Nigeria then. What happened? Many of them became victims. Many of them can no longer go to their villages. Many of them, their villages have been overrun by terrorists. So for those of you who will use political exigencies and political correctness to continue to tell yourself that it is not that bad, don't worry. Continue to live in denial. I just gave you that picture here. 4 solid local governments in Oyo State, especially Okeogun area, Ibarapa, and all those areas. 4 solid local government areas in Oyo State are already under the siege of kidnappers, the siege of Fulani terrorists. Villages are already being ransacked. People are already being raped on their way to farms. People are being killed on their farms. If you don't believe me, now take a second phone, your second phone now, and type Honorable Shino Pella. Honorable Shino Pella, kicked out of House of Representatives. Just use those keywords. Then you will read more about what the people of Yoruba land are already facing for years. But it is just about to get more escalated now. 10 local governments in Oyo State are already feeling the influx of Fulani terrorists as we speak right now. But 4 of them have already, just recently, that's the statement. But the political class will continue to use political correctness in order to evade the anger of Bukwari. So let me tell you what the attack looked like. They said this happened in Tapa, in the Barapa Central Local Government area of Oyo State. Okay? So they said, those telling you the story are not here. I am here, a traditional ruler, which I'm going to keep his name, though his name is out there, but I'll keep his name out of this video. I don't know, just keep it out of it. So, in quote, those telling you the story are not here. I am telling you the facts about it. The government needs to take action now. We have reported this case to the government several times. All filling stations are not working here again because of the excesses of the herdsmen, the traditional ruler who spoke in anonymity, declared. The first man that was chased to that village went to buy food in Idere as he was about to enter bush in Tapa. They shot him and he ran to a village. As his men saw that Amotekun had surrounded the village, they shot at Amotekun and wounded them. And the Amotekun repelled the attack. That was what led to the crisis. Early in the Saturday morning, some men of Amotekun stormed a village belonging to Bororo people. That is the name Yorubas give to Fulanis. If you are a Yoruba man, you know we call them Bororos. So early in the Saturday morning, some men of Amotekun stormed a village belonging to Bororo people. When the Bororo sighted danger, they started running to the Fulani village. About a kilometer from that village, on getting there, the Amotekun shot a Fulani man in the leg, and his people started rushing him to hospital. Abdul Kadiri said that is somebody who happened to be a Fulani living in the area too. When the Amotekun saw them going to the hospital, they attacked them on the bike and killed them on the bike. The Amotekun came back and attacked the Fulani village. They have killed 7 people as we speak. Why many have entered villages with bullets, he said. Also, kills 7 people, kills 12 Fulanis, according to them, in the Fulani village. I don't know where Fulani village is in Oyo State. I don't know where Bororo village is in Oyo State. These were people who have created their own villages, their own towns, and they have been accused of committing different crimes like kidnapping, destruction of properties, and then killings of different villagers in the areas. So they took over the forest. They took over the forest, right? And they settled there. And they named those villages Fulani village. Yorubas are even calling those places Fulani villages, Bororo people. In Tapa area, well, whatever that means. That was the report. Now, let's see. So what they are doing now is that they are trying to continue to underplay it. But my own concern is this. You see all these reports, all these killings, they have their victims. We may not have names or faces to this to these stories yet, but they have their victims, which has prompted the government of Oyo State to say, you know what, we will continue to move them out of Oyo State, because they know that if they arrest them for whatever crime they have committed, if they arrest them, they will find them back, because they have to hand them over to the police, Nigeria police, and they will find them back in the community, that same community that arrested them. So Oyo State government, in fact, let me say Yoruba land governors, I am not raising my hope. I'm just doing this for posterity's sake, okay? Not because they are going to do it, not because the next election is not what is more important to them than the next generation. But I'm saying this because I don't know who is going to see my video. I don't know how many of you have the influence to make things happen in your own little way, that you may not be thinking it that way. You see the northern Nigeria, as they are now, the political class from northern Nigeria, they have failed their people completely, okay? When they were plotting to be, to take over, to control, to subjugate, to be in charge by fire, by force, they did not have their people attacked. No plan for their own people. When they were doing that to take over Nigeria, they were also working day and night, ceaselessly, to ensure that their people and their continue remain their people continue to remain submerged, subdued, and have limited access to any engagement education, any engaging education at all, because they need the army of ignorant, illiterate, uneducated barbarians to shoot up their base and keep the power that they are fighting to control in Nigeria. Now they have the power to control Nigeria, right? They have the power of gun, they have the power of money, they have all the power they may think they have. But look at their people. When you read the news that 45 people killed, 100 people killed, 110 farmers beheaded, 600 school children kidnapped, all these stories, you will ask yourself that, are you waiting for similar thing to begin to happen in Yoruba land, where these criminal politicians in Yoruba land will rather politicize this, gain from it, and watch their people killed while they battle whether the news is real or fake? Are they going to wait for what happened in northern Nigeria to happen in Yoruba land before everybody reacts? That's why I'm doing this. Just forget it. When this insecurity by the time this insecurity envelopes all of us, when I say all of us, I don't think some of you will remain the same if the news come that the same thing we are reading and so scared about from the northern Nigeria are now happening in Yoruba land with videos, with pictures, you know what I mean? with IDP camps being set up in Yoruba land. Oyo State is hotbed right now. So what stops them? What stops Yoruba think tanks? What stops them now from calling for the Yoruba, the Yoruba Security Summit? What stops all of them now? By the time this insecurity comes around and envelopes all of us, and you begin to read the news that your family members, people you know, your former beautiful villages, and all these places have been ransacked, people have been kidnapped. I don't know if you are going to probably remain the same if that happens to you. So, should people wait until that happens before they realize that there is already danger in Yoruba land? So what stops the Yoruba leaders, Yoruba think tanks now, calling for a Yoruba security summit now? At least you have started Amotekun. Now, what stops them from calling some will say, Mayegun, why can't they call for Oduduwa Republic? I understand your sentiments. Don't worry. I think those who are alive are those who will probably live in Oduduwa Republic. Sure, I would love it if they can come together and possibly call for Oduduwa Republic. But you have a danger that is already here. It's no longer coming. You see all this while that I've been telling you that if people continue to pretend that all these things are not existing, when they continue to pretend, sooner than later, it's going to catch up with all of us. And some of you who actually loves to go to Nigeria, I'm talking about those of you who don't live in Nigeria, right? And you love to go to Nigeria every year. After coronavirus, you want to visit Nigeria, you want to visit your village, you want to go to Idore Hill, you want to go to all these fancy places, Ulumo Rock, you want to visit so many beautiful places, you want to make memories because you grew up there and you left Nigeria. Years gone by, you haven't been back. So even as bad as Nigeria is, you may not have an idea of the danger this really poses to you and your family too. And I'll tell you, the motorway are going to become more motorable. I'm talking about the expressways now. The terrorists will need to survive. They are building. They are already in Yoruba land. When I told you that with the report we received that 1,742 illegal Fulani camps, and on the last count, 1,742 illegal Fulani camps in Yoruba land. They are not just camps; they are now towns. Maybe I should let you understand. They are now small. They are like small camps before, but they are bringing in women, children. So you see these guys, they now go into the neighboring villages and sometimes they go onto the motorway. So they kidnap people on the motorway, okay? Kidnap people there and take them into the bush. These are true life stories. Do you understand what that means? 1,742 illegal villages created by Fulanis in Yoruba land as we speak, which Amotekun and all the Yoruba reasonable leaders, those who wants to be called leaders of Yoruba land. People love title a lot. Then they should do the job so that they can be respected and be called leaders. What stops them from calling the security summit now in Yoruba land? I don't know. But yourself, whenever they kidnap people on the motorway, they march them into the forest. They make you walk and trek for hours. They have done it. They did it to royal fathers, king. They made 2 kings in Ondo. 2 kings they kidnapped. They killed one. They freed one. They made the king and his own driver and everybody. They made them trek into the deeper jungle in the forest. The Fulani terrorists. When they came out, they said they were speaking Fufude. At least secure Yoruba land. That is not too much to ask, is it? Let me open the line so that you can add yours. I wanted to add this voice to this, that even if they can't do anything, traditional rulers, Alake of Egbaland, Ataoja of Oshogbo, Awujale of Ijebu, Ooni of Ife, Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́, Olúbàdàn, even Oba Lagoon, all these Oba from Yoruba land, royal fathers. Is it that difficult for you? Or you are just going to be living in denial? Continue to pay SARS to carry gun to protect you. Most of those who have become victims, they have security orderlies. Yeah, you remember Olakunrin, Olufunke Olakunrin, the daughter to the leader of Afenifere, Pa Fashoranti. Do you remember her? She had a driver, she had security details, she had the, she wasn't traveling alone. She happened to be the daughter of the supposed leader of Yoruba land, Yoruba Afenifere socio-political group. What stops the royal fathers from calling on all the political class? Where's your Tifnumbu? Tifnumbu lives in Lagos in Bodilon, Abi. You may think Lagos is far. These guys are ready to attack the heart of Yoruba land. Send the jitteries, down your spines. Things that you will never believe that will happen in Yoruba land will happen. And they are likely going to get the attention they want by attacking the place you believe they will never attack. Your cities. Lagos. Lagos is so easy to attack. You have been seeing different attacks in Lagos State repeatedly, but you have not seen them as attacks. Unexplained explosions, tanker explosions, bomb explosions. You know what I mean? Victims line the street who are victims of all these explosions in Lagos State. But you will never get to the root of them. You will never get to see anybody stand trial for the negligence that led to that. Everybody just have to live on. So when they will come to Lagos, when they will come to the heart of Yoruba land, I pray that the damages they are going to cause or wreak, the havoc they are going to wreak, will not be that much. At least can be avoided. I want to believe. It's avoidable. Yes, I can sit down here and call people names. I do all of that. But when it comes to security, security is everyone's business. You know what I mean? I may be far away from home. I may be far away from Ijebu. Ijebu is not safe too. The last time I was in Nigeria, I remember I recorded a video. I went for my mom's burial. In the middle of the night, around 1 a.m., I started hearing this loud bang that was so rhythmical, right? Bah, 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 bah. What was that? In Odogbolu, the town I grew up in. For years, I've never really seen anything like that. I saw probably about 400 cows. Well, I'm not going to make it look like I'm exaggerating. Let's put it at 399 cows. But if 400 round figure works for you, yeah, put it at 400. They were so long that it took me about 4 minutes to record their passing. In the middle of my town, Odogbolu, this is not a social media video. I recorded this myself. I was like, oh, really? And my people in Odogbolu, they told me, in Ijebu, they said, well, it's normal thing. I said, no, it's not normal. When we were growing up in Odogbolu, you will never see any cow matched. You will never see any herdsman match their cows on the street of Odogbolu. Talk less of in the middle of the night. It's not possible. But yeah, we have seen them graze on the field, football field. But they don't go to people's farms. So I was like, this is happening in Odogbolu. They said, yes. I said, oh boy. But at least I had peace. The guy was not carrying gun. They were about 4 of them. Like 2 in the front, 1 on the side, like they should know how to guide their cows. And I was like, what? Then the following day, I saw them during the day as well, not 1 a.m. They said, okay, the cows were owned by one big man in my hometown. I was like, oh, okay. All right. No wonder. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the danger It's no longer about the fairy tales anymore. It's no longer about that childhood dreams anymore, where you think things have been exaggerated and possibly you should find out or try it out before you will believe people are already victims. So if the Yoruba leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, if they don't have the common courage to call for security summit in Yoruba land, the last time the northern thugs called for their own security summit, let me remind you. You know what they did? They called the Sultan, they called the emirs, they called their known people in government. They even invited Bokwari, but because Bokwari is a breeding lifeless money coin, he couldn't make it. So he sent Ibrahim Gambari, his own what's that called again? What was that position of Abba Kyari again? Chief of Staff to Bokwari. I think that's the title. The northern criminals, the northern terrorist leaders, at least they called for their own northern security meeting, that they invited the police IG, who is from the north. They invited the Buratai the butcher, the one that is supervising the supervising the terrorists who are now massacring the people in the northern Nigeria. They invited him. They invited all the retired northern military leaders. They invited all their emirs, their sultans, and all of them, right? They invited all of their governors, whether you are PDP or APC, all of you attend. They invited all their youth body. And they invited everybody. And they were holding the meeting in the northern Nigeria, but shamelessly, or let me say shamefully. They were not talking about how to protect northern Nigeria and their people. They were talking about how to protect Bokwari from losing power. They were talking about the NSAS protesters, how Bokwari's government must go after NSAS protesters and treat them as terrorists. They didn't say anything about bandits. There's no story about Fulani terrorists. There's nothing discussed about Boko Haram. They just said they give commendation. They appreciate, we appreciate the work the military is doing in keeping us safe. They also said they appreciated their rulers, their traditional rulers, for using trick and lies and religion to dissuade the young people from joining the demand for secure north. As you are having the NSAS protests in the south, the northern youth were contemplating of going into secure north protest to make it a national protest of good governance, and that would have brought down the government of Bokwari. So in that Northern Summit security meeting, they were thanking the traditional rulers. They were thanking the sheikhs for using the religion to tell their people not to participate. So they didn't talk about protecting themselves. No, they are not bothered. So I don't know if those who claim to be Yoruba leaders, religious, at least if they are choosing religious leaders now, they will call Adeboye. Won't they call Adeboye? Won't they call Oyedepo? Won't they, at least they will even call Oshubade, fake Pastor Ruga. Those are the religious leaders. At least they know God. They can talk to God. They listen to God, talk to them every now and then. It's just so unfortunate that God is not using them to give you good leaders in Nigeria. I wish God loves you so much, because God loves your religious leaders according to the people in Nigeria. God loves your religious leaders. That if you say anything about them, God will just punish person and all of that. But God does not love you, his own children, to be able to tell your religious leaders to use them and save you from those and Kumuyi and all of them. Exactly. So they should attend security meeting instead of them to be getting hiring more security to protect them, protect their families and all of that. They should get involved in security meeting in Yoruba land. Okay, all the traditional rulers. You know them now. We have 6 states in Yoruba land, Abi, and we have thousands of traditional rulers. Obasanjo should lead the chat now. I wonder why Obasanjo is not talking about security. Maybe because Obasanjo feels like the invaders will not come to Abeokuta. or come to Ota and invade his farm. Okay. I don't pray for that, okay? I'm not really going to pray for that, but whether I pray or not, it's going to happen. We are talking about insecurity. It should be everyone's business. They should call themselves. Tiflumbu, Obasanjo, who else? All of that. They should call themselves. The 5 or 6 state governors in Yoruba land call a security. You did it once when you wanted to start Amotekun. Do it again. And be factual, be honest. Your people will really need it. We will need it. The reason why I'm worried, let me tell you. We may be far away from Nigeria. We may be far away from Yoruba land. But this social media, this internet, this today's world connects all of us so fast. So fast and so easy that you cannot deny when the truth hits you. When you can speak to your family members right now and tell them, I'm gonna call you on a video call, and you can look around at your village, you can look at everyone's faces and all of that. How are you gonna feel when you phone the next time and a stranger pick up the phone, video call, and says the owner of the phone is dead? How? Well, they attacked your lovely, amazing village, and they killed over 40, 50, 100 people. And that your lovely, darling sister, brother, uncle, neighbor, all these guys that you grew up with, some of them older now, have been killed. That is the moment the truth will hit you. Maybe you don't know that those who are being killed in northern Nigeria, they have families too. Maybe you don't know that. Well, you should know. That is for you living outside Nigeria. These are the news that would chatter so many people. And if people really understand the fact that the entire Nigeria as a fake country has failed our own people, okay? Nigeria can no longer protect herself, talk less of the people. Those criminals in charge of Nigeria, their incompetence and greed, selfishness, self-centeredness have destroyed not just themselves, but the people they told or promised to lead and right. That is where you should be concerned. That is where I'm concerned. You can brush off all I've been telling you. Fine. Fine. Brush them off. Maybe not so bad. But let me give you a picture or paint you a scenario. The situation in these areas, like the 4 local government areas of Oyo State, Ibarapa, Okeogun areas, the invaders, they have infiltrated the entire area that we are now having spillover to the highway, to the expressways. So even if you go to Nigeria and you stay in Lagos, which will actually, if you stay away, because that's what will happen, you end up going to Nigeria and you will never be able to visit that your lovely, amazing family, grandma, grandpa, who are still alive. You will not be able to visit them. Not because you can't. Yes, you can. But it will be a risk that you have to consider if it is worth taking or not. There will be changes to how people will adjust to the coming insecurity problem in Yoruba land. It is already here. 4 local government areas in Yoruba land. Think about that. 4 local government areas. So you don't need to live in those local governments. You don't need to be in that local government areas. You don't need to be from Oyo State. Today, we have been receiving reports of travelers being attacked, kidnapped on the motorway. People who left on their way to Abuja, they get kidnapped in Kaba, in Kogi. Yeah, Lokoja, they get kidnapped. Their buses got attacked. So many stories of all these travelers being kidnapped on the motorway. We have been having them in Yoruba land too. When you travel through Ibadan, Ogbomoso, what do you call it, Oyo Expressway or Ogbomoso Road, all those areas, you are taking a risk. People are traveling through the roads every day, but they will tell you what it feels like when they begin to get to approach some areas. That is the danger. And the point here is there will be no how that these criminals are being tracked. Okay, so I'm suggesting, I've got a few suggestions I'm going to add before I go tonight. Oyo State government of Seyi Makinde, I don't know if they are going to politicize this later. Yoruba people, my people, even if you are going to, whether you support Oduduwa Republic or not, you see this problem of insecurity is part of the shared misery, shared unfortunate misery of being part of Nigeria. Nigeria cannot protect those in Nigeria except those who rise up to protect themselves. Apart from calling on those who claim to be Yoruba leaders, leaders of thought, rich, wealthy, outspoken Yoruba leaders, and the young people, to jettison and put aside politics. Some of you are going to be paid to promote things, to say this is not happening, right? Some of you are going to pay to be paid to deny. But I am going to, apart from asking them to call for a regional security summit in Yoruba land, where all the Yoruba elders, Yoruba leaders, Yoruba, people will discuss how they will intend to protect themselves against all these invaders. Apart from that, while we wait, if that is going to ever materialize, then I have this option and this opinion, or this suggestion or advice for the government of Oyo State, if they ever come across my video. It's very simple, very, very simple and straightforward. Amotekun are going to come across so many terrorists in the course of their, patrols and all of that surveillance in the forest. Within the forest of Oyo State, as we speak, they are going to come across many, and they are going to arrest many. Yes, there is a program of sending them out of Oyo State, coordinated, easy, peaceful, marching them out of Oyo State. I don't know how that is working so far. We have had a situation. They have been shooting too. Maybe some of them will not really want to live peacefully like that without a fight. I have this suggestion. Develop a biometric system. Please do it. Let Amotekun have a biometric data pool. All these criminals that they are going to come across, let them take their mugshot, take their pictures. I know you may want to release them to the police. You may want to send them out of Oyo State. They will find themselves, they'll find their way back to Oyo State. Because you can't send them out of Nigeria. If they have a border that you don't have a control over, the borders of Nigeria are controlled by the Nigerian government. And the man in charge of Nigeria right now says the border is opened for all terrorists to walk in. Yes, they can walk in. They are welcome. So the government of Oyo State have no controls over who comes in or goes out of Oyo State, comes out of Nigeria, but they have a right and control of who comes into and out of Oyo State. So please take the mugshot, take their pictures, whatever name, even if it's fake names they are given, take their pictures before you send them out of Oyo State. Take their biometric details before you send them out of Oyo State. So that in the future, yes, Boko Haram and the Fulani terrorists will not be in power forever in Nigeria. And there will be a point where, yes, Yorubas will defend Yoruba land genuinely. Every son and daughter of Yoruba land will be interested in defending Yoruba land, and they will not be interested in playing any politics in the protection of their lives and their properties and their loved ones. There will be a time. If, and I'm not going to push this to the Oyo State Amotekun alone. My advice is very noble, and I come in peace. And you may already have this idea in place. And if you already have this idea, great. Please take their mugshot. Okay? Let us know the faces of those you have been fighting in the forest of Oduduwa land. Let us see their faces. Keep their biometric details. Keep enough details, description, that will make us stay aware. And when in the future they return, we will be able to identify them, hunt them, and get rid of them from Yoruba land for real this time around. Don't send them away without taking their record. Nigeria has no record. They have no record. Do you understand? If you see my message, please do it. The broadcast of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tonight was very powerful. I listened to a bit of that. Part of it I will say. And I'm going to say the ESN in Eastern Nigeria, the Eastern Security Network. Yes, very smartly coined name, honestly. What we have in Yoruba land is called Western Nigeria Security Network. Damn, Western Nigeria. Just say Western Security Network. What is Western Nigeria? So Nnamdi Kanu is so creative, very, very creative, by just making it ESN, Eastern Security Network. And they can easily change that later to Biafra Security Network, BSN, when they have their Biafra. So he said, if you come to Igbo land, if you come to Biafra land to hunt any ESN member, you are likely not going to return back to whoever sent you. Because it doesn't make any sense. How can Nigerian government be spending so much money to go and hunt down those who are stopping the invaders, who are interested in stopping these barbarians, these barbaric criminals, by the way? They are not Fulani. If they are not Fulani, if they are just Fulani as men, they shouldn't be carrying guns. So people said they carry guns, they've killed their people, villages have been attacked, victims have been silenced. Now they are no longer going to take it. They will stand up and defend their land, defend themselves, defend their people. And the government of Nigeria is spending money to go and hunt them down and kill them. How is that? How does that make sense? So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, well, it's a warning that they are not going back on protecting their people. I would expect the Eastern politicians to be behind them, but you know, it's not going to happen, because what that means is that they are going to agree that the Fulani terrorists are invading the Eastern Nigeria for real, if they agree with Nnamdi Kanu on ESN. So for political exigencies, for political correctness, they would rather throw the Biafrans, the Igbos, under the bus. And the only person fighting for the Igbo people now, I mean, genuinely, yeah, because that's how I see it. Those who got paid to protect you, those who are getting paid to protect you, your elected politicians, they don't give a damn about you. If you get killed, even in Anambra State, Obaino said, if you kill a cow, you will pay 50,000 naira or 100,000 naira. If a Fulani man kill you for killing his cow, he will pay your family members 300,000 naira. So the life of an Igbo man to an average politician in Igbo land is just 300,000 naira. So if you kill a cow and a Fulani terrorist kills you, there's no court case or anything, okay? The government already agreed that they will pay your family 300,000 naira. Can you imagine that? So the only person fighting for you genuinely, who seems to be ready to die for protecting and fighting for you, you may not like him. I understand that. Yeah, it happens all over the world. The people that seems to be fighting oppression, I mean the oppressors, gets fought by the oppressed too. Okay, you may not like him, I understand, right? But that's the only guy who seems to be interested in saving you. Okay, he's the only guy. He's not just talking; he's been walking the talk, man. They are now saying maybe the ESN are not even in Biafra land. That's how confused they are. So Nnamdi Kanu said, continue to hunt us. Two group of animals are hunting down ESN. We have the Igbo politicians who don't like Nnamdi Kanu, who believes that the IPOB are the alternative power to the power they are enjoying, and they don't want to share it, okay? Even though the power they are enjoying is not in the interest of the people who put them in that power, right? So they are really, really angry and upset with the IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu. So they are looking for them, looking for the IPOB members in the forest of Igbo land. Then they have also invited the Buratai the Butcher. Buratai the Butcher is also, very well. He sent his own boys to go and look for the ESN members. They are not looking for Shekau. They are not looking for Kabiru Shokoto. They are not looking for all these terrorists that are now popular and safe, by the way. They are not looking for them. They are looking for those who want to protect themselves against invaders. That is what Nigeria is spending money on. So Yorubas should come together, make their position known. I will be reading the news. You should be reading that too. We will all be reading the news to know what the response of the Yoruba leaders will be. This will be my 1 million times of asking Yoruba leaders to put aside politics, to put aside whatever things that they, all this nonsense that never really benefit the Yoruba people, and protect Yoruba land. Do things in Yoruba interests, protect the Yoruba interest. I have been asking for that for like 1 million times. I will continue to ask for that until we see the results, until we see that other higher people who have influence are calling for the same thing. Do you get that now? Or else. You see that Borono? In 5 years' time, we are going to have our own Borono in Yoruba land. In 5 years' time, we are going to have our own Edapchi, our own Chibok. In 5 years' time, I can't imagine where Yoruba land will be. So, Oyo State government, Seyi Makinde, keep it up. Take all your Amotekun boys out of Oyo State streets. Their job is for them to survey our forest and rid our forest of all these dangerous criminals. That's just it. I don't think it should be in anybody's interest to wait for a day that we are going to have our own Borono in Yoruba land. But if care is not taken, we will have those Borono, we will have that Yobe, we will have that Dabchi, we will have that Niger, we will have all these stories in Yoruba land. They are already there, but they are killing the stories. And I encourage some of you who have enough resources to go and dig for us. Go to Oyo State. They are attacking villages that their stories have been buried in the Nigerian media. Do this and bring this to light. Let's mount pressure. Continue to demand that Yoruba people have not been given the fair deal in the project Nigeria. Okay? As a Yoruba man, as a Yoruba woman, if you sit down and you think critically, you will know that we have been holding the wrong end of the stick of the project Nigeria. Apart from those who call themselves or parade themselves as the leaders of Yoruba land, who are doing this in their own interest and interest only, right? The project Nigeria has been an unfortunate misadventure for the Yoruba people. Look at the poverty, look at the infrastructures, look at the security. Now, the insecurity. We have had our own fair share, the worst of it, from Project Nigeria. You would expect those who are reasonable Yoruba leaders to begin to put their acts together now and begin the process, the journey of no return, the breakaway from Nigeria. But if that's going to even happen, can we even protect ourselves to start with? I hope they make it a call and they will make it happen. I don't want to go back to Yoruba land where I will begin to pay tax to breathe to complete strangers who have taken over my land, taken over my village because they have guns. I know that will be a tough one. I hope we will live to witness that Yoruba leaders that will have balls, that will have enough balls to call for the Yoruba security meeting, Yoruba regional security summit, and decide once and for all how Yoruba land will be protected from these invaders. Amotekun should leave the street, like I said, send them back to the forest, pull resources together, give them surveillance cameras, surveillance drones, let them survey the entire Yoruba forest. Or let's start with Oyo State. It's a big one. Ibarapa, Okeogun, Tapa area. Let's give them chance to survey that. Give them resources to do that. Protect Yoruba land. Protect Yoruba land. Because the infidels, they believe they are killing in northern Nigeria. Many of us in Yoruba land are considered as infidels. Even some of you who are Muslims, they still consider your own type of Islam as not so Islamic enough. You will be shocked and surprised when they finally invade and begin to question that your faith. Most of us in Yoruba land are considered infidels. So which means we are all, like lambs, ready to be slaughtered, right? I hope not. I'll see you guys.